Are your genes a life sentence or a launch pad? In today's episode, we challenge the idea that you're stuck with whatever DNA you were born with. All right, now genetics may load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. And the best news, you don't have to pull it. Let's talk about epigenetics, personal action, and mindset, how they turn your genetic fate into something completely within your control. This one's your permission slip to stop blaming your DNA and start rewriting your story today on the Personalized Fitness Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Personalized Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Garrett Williamson, and today's episode is episode 4 in our 5-part genetics series inspired by my book, The Lie of Age. If you've been following along, you know that we've busted some myths, we've looked at history, we looked at real people and modern science, and today we're bringing it all together with one core truth. The genes are not a prison. They're a blueprint. But you decide what to build. If you're interested in more information about this podcast, please reach out to us, area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. You can contact me at garrett@personalizedfitness.com. Personalizedfitness.com is also our website. Follow us on X at TeamPE or Facebook at Personalized Fitness. Now, this episode is for anyone who's ever heard it runs in your family and felt helpless. Let's set the record straight. There's a powerful quote by Dr. Bruce Lipton. He's a pioneer in epigenetics. Epigenetics is basically how you live. Genes are not destiny. They are potential. Now, that's what this episode is about. Reclaiming the truth that you are not a victim of your biology. You may have a family history of heart disease, obesity, diabetes, or depression, Alzheimer's, whatever. But that doesn't mean you're destined to develop it. Your daily choices, your mindset, your activity, your lifestyle, your nutrition can completely change the outcome. Let's start with the science. Epigenetics is the study of how behaviors and environment affect the way your genes are expressed. Think of it like this. Genes are the light switches. Your actions are the fingers that flip them on and off. You don't have to change. You don't change the actual gene itself. You change whether it's active or inactive. Now, what does that mean practically? A gene associated with diabetes can be silenced through weight loss, exercise, and diet. A gene associated with Alzheimer's can be suppressed through cognitive training, sleep, and community involvement. Also, water, and if you're interested in Alzheimer's, stay tuned. In a few episodes from now, I've got a new something they just found out about Alzheimer's and something you can do for that. A gene linked to depression can be downregulated with consistent exercise, meditation, and connection. Well, that's activity or fitness, mindset, and lifestyle. I'm sure nutrition plays a part also. And this isn't theory. We have proof. In one famous study, 2008 study, people with a genetic predisposition to cardiovascular disease dramatically reduced the risk simply by eating a different diet. Their genetic risk was still there, but it was never activated. Now, this is tell you about why it runs in my family is often a major cop-out. Let's address that common line. Well, my dad had it, my mom had it, I guess I'm doomed. No, you're not doomed. You're being offered a roadmap of what not to do. Sure, there are genes that predispose you to certain outcomes, but predisposition is not predetermination. Consider this. Most things that run in families are habits, not just genes families pass down. Think different things like eating patterns, exercise habits or lack thereof, coping mechanisms for stress, beliefs about aging. That's a huge one. Remember, mindset is 60% of this. So before you blame your DNA, take a hard look at your learned behaviors. We inherit forks more than flaws. Now let's talk about those trendy DNA tests, 23andMe, Ancestry.com, etc. They can be powerful tools for awareness, but too often people use them as excuses. They make themselves a victim of their genetics when there's no reason to do that. I have the obesity gene. I have the slow metabolism gene. I've got the high cholesterol gene. Okay. And what are you going to do about it? But here's the truth. Knowing your risk is only helpful if you use that knowledge to change the course. DNA reports shouldn't be verdicts by any means. They should be manuals. They're basically just a starting line. You find out your car brakes are worn. Well, you don't just give up on the car. You replace them. You don't drive it off a cliff. You say, well, that's just the way it was built. That's all there is to it. Same thing with your body, except the difference is, as always, when I talk about a car, I'm talking about a machine. But what we're talking about in all of this is the most amazing machine ever created. It's the only machine that can repair itself. So the same thing is with your body. Let's revisit a few brief real-world examples. We talked about these in just a podcast ago. The Pima Indians of Arizona, one of the highest rates of type 2 diabetes in the world, after adopting a Western lifestyle. Before processed food and sedentary living, they were lean and healthy. Adopted children studies. Many adopted kids show health patterns that match their adoptive families, not their biological ones, especially when it comes to weight, mood, and exercise habits. Identical twins. We talked about this study. One lives with vitality into their 80s, the other multiple conditions by 60. Same genes, different lifestyles. Every one of these examples proves that genes are not the full story. Okay. Analogy time. Genes are piano keys. You are the pianist. I did this one a couple of podcasts ago, but I thought I'd bring it back because I really like it a lot. But guess what? You choose what melody gets played. Your food, your sleep, your exercise, your thoughts. They are the fingers on the keys. You are in control. You are the only one playing the tune. Your genes don't control you. You control the concert. Most importantly about this, remember, don't let anybody tell you different. And now let's bring it back to aging. The big lie. The lie of age. What the entire premise of what my book's about. Aging automatically means decline, and it's all in your genetics. Ridiculous. A lie. Absurd. Anybody telling you that's lying to you, anybody that says that is a liar. I'm sure it's a powerful statement. And if you know of anybody, especially in the health field, that disagrees with me, hey, Garrett Williamson, 251-278-3343, 251-278-EDGE. Reach me out to me at garrett@personalagefitness.com. Reach out to us through the website. Contact me on X @TeamPE or Personal Age Fitness on Facebook. Tell them that I insulted them. Love to speak with them. This myth is particularly cruel because it removes hope. It says, why bother? It tells you to stop trying. And that's where the real damage begins. But what we've shown, chapter after chapter, study after study, is that you don't age because of time. You age because of neglect. If decline were purely genetic, everyone would age the same way. Everyone with the same risk gene would develop the same disease. Exercise wouldn't reverse or delay symptoms, but it does. Every time. That's not a fluke. That's biology responding to stimulus. That's what your body is able to do. You just have to believe you can. You have to have the right mindset, lifestyle, nutrition, activity, or fitness. Let's show you how to reclaim your genetic narrative. We're going to wrap this up with a mindset shift. If you have been told, quote, you never lose weight, it's just your body type, or you'll have arthritis by 60, your mom did, or your memory is going, it's hereditary, I want you to hear this loud and clear. You have more power than your doctor told you, more than your parents warned you, more than your genes predicted. I'll show you. Here's how to start flipping the script. First and foremost, get moving. Physical activity turns on protective genes and turns off destructive ones. If you're in a situation like a client I just signed recently who, due to activity, has been confined to a wheelchair, but still has circulation, blood flow to his muscles, he still has communications to his muscles, he can turn it around, he can change. Give us a call. We'll be glad to help you out. When it comes to nutrition, eat with intention. Every meal is a signal to your DNA, so choose wisely. Practice that stress management, breath work, gratitude, sleep, these things. These aren't luxuries. They are genetic maintenance. This breath work, this stress management, gratitude, these have a lot to do with mindset. And we've showed you studies in previous podcasts where strictly having a positive mindset, showing gratitude, literally lengthen people's lives. Challenge limiting beliefs. If you believe your future is pre-written, it will be. If you believe it, it will be so. But if you believe in change, your biology literally responds. Surround yourself with proof. Find examples of people who defied the script, then become one of them. We have a lot of people like that here at Personalized Fitness. It has a lot to do with our culture. Them surrounding themselves with all these other positive-minded individuals is why they are living so long. So, are genes a starting line? Yes. But that's all they are. They don't dictate your finish line. They don't decide your effort. They don't determine your identity. You do. Next time, we'll close out the genetic series with a bang in episode 5. The genetics excuse, why it's time to retire this cop-out. As always, I'd love to hear from you. Got questions? Got a story where you beat the odds? Send it my way. Area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. Reach out to me at Garrett@personaledgefitness.com. Personaledgefitness.com, of course, is our website. You can contact us that way. Contact me at Team PE on X and Facebook at Personalized Fitness. Follow us on both of those. And as always, if you enjoyed this podcast, please like, follow, and share so we can get the word out to other people. Until then, keep challenging, keep learning, and remember, there's no expiration date on ability, and that is just one more way we help you reach your level of wellness. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you for episode 5.